comes to the Lion King live action remake, this is honestly pretty interesting for me because I've made a good amount of videos at this point talking about cases where I disagree with the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, where I think it's too low. This is actually a different case. With the Lion King live action film, its critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is only 52%. The audience score is much higher at an 88%. Here's where this is different for me. I actually agree with the critics in this case, and I disagree with the audience. I think that the Lion King live action remake fails to understand what people want to see from the Lion King. The biggest problem with it by far is that, unlike in the original film, all the animals are photorealistic. This as the big downside of ensuring that the animals cannot show emotion on their faces. They can't emote, which means they don't have personalities that pop like in the original film. So you're not able to connect with the characters as much. You're not as engaged with them. They feel more at arm's length. That makes the movie less entertaining to watch. And then on top of that, you look at several of the iconic songs, and the live action film removes all the things that made the same scene in the original film interesting, memorable, and fun. You look at the song I Just Can't Wait to Be King from the original Lion King, and Simba and Nala are not just walking around. Simba's using animals, when you get later on in the song, he's slides down the neck of a giraffe. And then by the end of the scene, all these animals have made a pyramid. Simba and Nala are right on the top of it. And then the pyramid comes collapsing down. Thus, Simba and Nala are on the ground again. They run away. So that scene is really interesting, fun, pops. But then you look at the same scene in the live action movie and it's boring because you have photorealistic animals that cannot emote singing while they're just simply walking on the ground. There's nothing else happening besides that. Then you look at the song Be Prepared. In the original movie, it's very interesting because you have all this green smoke, so it gives the location an atmospheric feel to it. Plus, later on in the song, Scar is rising up on these mounds until you get to the end, and Scar's right at the top of this hill, and the hyenas are below him. And then you infamously have that moment where the hyenas basically do a Nazi march. The colors even change. But then you look at the scene in the live action remake, it's not interesting because, for one, this location, it's the same bland, dull, boring, brown rock location that we see in every other scene of the movie. And then on top of that, for the most part, Scar is just simply saying be prepared over and over again. A lot of the words from the original song are cut out. Plus, on top of that, once again, Scar's photorealistic lion that cannot emote. So the scene is boring. Therefore, I think the critics actually got it right here, and I think the audience got it wrong. I think that people got so caught up in the nostalgia, so caught up in the excitement of seeing this movie on the big screen that they didn't stop to think, wait a minute, does this movie have anything to offer beyond nostalgia, beyond the visuals that are incredible right now? When you think about that question, you realize, oh, that's right, the movie actually has nothing to offer other than nostalgia and the visuals. But those are more superficial, shallow things. They don't engage you on a deeper level. Problem is that 10 years from now, well, technology is going to have advanced, meaning that the effects in the 2019 Lion King film that look so good right now are going to be dated by that point. And the nostalgia isn't enough to make you actually interested in this movie beyond a one-time watch. Because if you're going to watch The Lion King, there's no reason not to just watch the original again. That's so much better. So I think the high audience score is because when people saw it in the theaters for the first time, they were blown away by the visuals, and so they thought that makes the movie good. But when you actually stop and think about it, then you realize this is actually an empty movie that completely fails to understand what works about The Lion King and has nothing to offer beyond superficial and shallow stuff.